made. So we have 9 people in here, so I think it is a good time to get started. Hello everyone, I'm Andrew Can, and if I can, you can too. We're going to be doing YouTube channel reports today, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Like our last one, which I'll have linked in the description down below if you want to check out, we are going to be entering via either super chats, which will always take priority, or you can enter a keyword that you can put in the chat, share it out, and we will go that way. So I'm going to go ahead and get the first word on screen. While I'm doing that, we're also going to talk about how this time is different. I think it's important that we don't always do the same thing, that we have some variation when it comes to these. So the word we're going to be using is going to be, as I share my screen, KDCC. So if you'd like to be entered in for a YouTube channel review, all you have to do is type in KDCC into the chat, and that's how we're going to get started right here. So really excited to see everyone. Got some more people. See Ike, as always, great to see you, Ike. See Theo the Hero 54, good to see you here as well. 30-day review said hello. Garage Hobbyist, good to see you. You know, I see Chatty Cathy. First, I always say you're a Chatty Cathy, but Chatty Cathy's here. I'm so sorry. I've called you all my life, but here we are. So I think that's very fun. Rachel, great to see you. Thank you so much for those kind words. I've learned so much from you on TikTok about dog benefits and like just how to properly take care of your dog's nutrition. Rachel, if you have a dog, it's one of the easiest recommendations to follow. If you're interested in a YouTube SEO review, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at all the ways on the back end that you could be helping out a YouTube channel, really doing those things. All you have to do is type into the chat KDCC as you see it on screen. But yeah, there's a lot we're going to be doing here today. So I'm going to give people a little more time. We have 4 entries, 9 people watching. 2 of those are me and Ike, but hopefully we get a little more. So I'm going to give you just a little bit more time here before we get started. But our entries are going up. It's got to be all caps. It's got to be KDCC. And the way I'm going to be doing this today is for the YouTube part, I'm going to be looking at the back end of your most recent video. So if you haven't optimized it, because I've done these before. Oh, I didn't have a chance to you should always, before you ever let that video go public, make sure your video is optimized. If it isn't perfect, don't worry. We're here to improve. We're here to learn. These are channel reports, right? And I'm here to report on the state of the channel. We have 5 entries. I think this is, I think we're in a good spot to get started. Not going to make you all wait any longer. So here we go. First one, let's go ahead and draw. And let's see who's going to get the first channel report on their most recent video. The keyword is here. You have time to improve. And all right. Well, we have Celtic Detectorist back again. I think were you maybe first last time? You have a track record here of being really, I think you're doing a really good job of, getting in, and I got to respect it, and this time is different. It's not always going to be the same thing, but I do have to let you know, I did recommend some things last time. So because I'm going to be, here, I see, hello there. I am Chris, and hold on. I see you've made this change, AKA Celtic Detectorist. Really good. Love seeing that right away. So your most recent video is what we're looking at. Metal detectoring North Wales. Shorts posted daily, full videos every week. We love to see the improvement. Rigged. Yes, I was first last time. That's funny though, because it is a random system. You would think that, I don't know the probability of that. Someone out there who's better in math can do it. But, we're going to do the 5 minutes on the timer. We're going to make sure, what? Not in dark mode. This you get different responses from different people from this. I can tell you I'm a dirty light mode user. It really just depends the day for me. I think some of the tools I use are a little more optimized in the lighter theme. That's really the reason. But what I want to do is treasure hunting what I found, metal detecting UK. So really, I think right away, the first thing, if I'm going to look at this, I'm not going to watch the videos. We only have 5 minutes. It doesn't really give an ample. And also, what I think of a video is going to be subjective. I might not be the right target audience, but what I can look at objectively is the back end SEO. What are we doing? What are the ways that we are giving these videos every chance to be successful, right? And because of that, that's something I can look at a little bit more objective at. That is also, what does the banner look like on different devices? If you're always in dark mode, good to see. I'm system default, which tends to be light mode. Also good to see you, Dimmy. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start a 5-minute timer and take a look at some of the SEO, right? So right away, I'm going to go ahead and drop you a like just to give you a little bit of help there. But I want to make sure that everything I'm looking at, you can hopefully clearly see. hopefully, I know this might be a little hard to read, but I want to show the search rankings. One thing I want to clarify, because a lot of people may not know this, is that there was a change that these results are no longer based on incognito. It's now specific for you. So it's based on personal watch history. If you ever want to check if you're where you're ranking in tags, check incognito mode. So just a heads up there. One thing I will say right away is that you've called this treasure hunting. Here's what I found, metal detecting UK. The first thing I would say is maybe get rid of the date, because in a couple of years, this video, people would be like, ugh, well, this is from 2023. You can let that just be stated in video. I wouldn't put it in the title, because this video, if someone wants to see what, people found when they're treasure hunting, the date can be a little bit of a hindrance, right? Because YouTube also judges on relevancy. So in 2 years, 2025, right? This isn't as relevant. So I'd recommend getting rid of that. Another thing I want to check when I look here deeper into your description is, all right, the first things you're linking to are your equipment. I see that these are, I'm assuming, affiliate links. Hopefully there's a disclaimer. If they're not affiliate links, that's one of those things you can easily do. You definitely should, in your description, disclose if they are affiliate links. It's just one of those really good things I recommend and you should do. But that would be that first thing I'm not seeing. Another thing you can do is you should be linking. There are 4 different spots that you really can take advantage of as a content creator on how you can get people to the next video: cards, end screens, descriptions, and pinned comment. So what I would tell you here is that I see, you have your Instagram, you have Facebook, but you don't actually have a call for, what if I'm here and I'm like, you know what, I want to watch more content. I would always put another video recommendation. Hey, maybe this is a similar spot, right? Because right here, if you have other UK specific videos, maybe you can put them here. Now you're telling YouTube, and this goes to anyone who's like watching and enjoying, and this is how YouTube looks at titles. It's order of importance, right? So you're telling YouTube the thing you're trying to go after is treasure hunting. I think that's fine. Here's what I found. I think, that works. I would say that if it's working for you, keep it. I would say maybe, I don't mind metal detecting UK, but the UK is quite large. There can be some benefits, maybe not in the title, but in the tags and in the description of saying where you are specifically. Because if you are somewhere more specific in the UK, when you change, it helps YouTube understand where you are a little bit differently, helps your viewers understand, and it really just, goes for that cohesive thing. I also will say that you're doing a great job of having some of the title phrases that are in that first 200 characters of the description. I wouldn't go ahead necessarily and put the indentation here, because YouTube reads the first 200 characters. I would actually just, keep it here. Also be careful, because YouTube might consider putting the title here at this top line without context. It might consider that you're trying to game the system, even if that is not your intention. I always flag that to people. As you can see, there's a lot of drawing here today. The problem with saying where I am is that the places I go metal detecting are a secret. That's fine. And if that's the reason, that's more than okay. Just keep in mind that you don't have to give the exact location, but maybe the country, so you can be a little different. But if it's all for security, I completely understand. Always be safe. Always be aware of your surrounding. And I think if that's the reason, that's more than okay. Keep in mind, I'm looking at this from an SEO point of view. So that's just something to keep in mind right away. I hope not all titles are that close. Phrasing that looks like a repeatable title. You can say, exactly, you can say country, province, etc. So that's kind of what I would do on this one. I do think, you have 467 views. I see here that it looks like you got a good amount of likes on Facebook. So maybe those people are coming from elsewhere, which is really why it is so important that you do link to another video or a call to subscribe here, because you want them to look here. Now I see you have videos of interest, but I don't really understand what this is for. Maybe this is where you standard link, but I don't see anything. Again, this video is from September 3rd. It is September 9th at the time of the stream. So just things to think of. If I were to give this thing a grade, I think you're doing a pretty good job of describing it. Like, you have links. I would disclose. I would get rid of the title. But, you have decent views. That is it for time, though. So for that, I will say, if I were to give this video a grade on the SEO standpoint of it, I would probably say that this is easy. I would say that you're doing a lot right. I would get rid of the title, make sure this line is not here and put this up. I would give you a solid B to B minus, but I'm feeling B minus because there is just a lot you can change and a lot of this is easy. So really great job. I mean, you came last time, weirdly enough, got first, not sure how, but life finds a way, right? So all in all, really great job there. And I think, as we continue to keep doing this, you're going to learn different things. It's the beauty of these channel reports. They're not always going to be the same thing each time. So even if you've come to one before, it's important that you know that there's going to be changing. So speaking of changes, that's going to be our next word. We have change. If you are interested in a channel review, all you have to do, a channel report really, is all you have to say is whatever the word is here, and that is change. Just type that into the chat, all caps, and it gives you an opportunity to just take a look at your SEO this time around. So all you have to do is type in change exactly as you see it on screen to be entered into this. Really excited for what we have today. And we're not once we're done here on YouTube, we're also going to go over to Discord, where if you want to call in and ask a question, you absolutely can. Also see some new faces here. See Genealogy with Amy Johnson Crow. Great to see you. Change. I see TEW Let's Survive. Great to see you as well. So I see from Celtic Detectorist as we are going. I forgot to add their links there. Oops. But again, it's these things where it's the fundamentals. And I think as people have the opportunity to type in change, let's go full screen here. On YouTube, it is the fundamentals that are really going to make or break you. Consistency is doing it over and over again at a level that keeps you going. So those fundamentals of optimizing your YouTube thumbnail, title, description, info cards, end screens, captions are mattering not just once, but every time. So hopefully, as we grow as YouTubers, these things become easier and easier to remember to do because the small things add up to make big changes. So hopefully, you're making sure to optimize your title, description, tags every time, and it is important. Now, with that said, let's go ahead and bring this up, give people some time. We have 5 entries again, gives you a lot of chances. I see from 80s Guy, we have change. So I think we have quite a lot of entries. Any particular room we should be in? If you're talking about in Discord, there is a feedback section where all you have to do, don't worry, I will show you on later in the stream how you can get it. So don't worry, we got that covered. But I'm going to give you a little bit more time here as we look at change. This is our last opportunity to enter. I see we got 1 entry. So keep in mind in 5, 4, 3, 2, let's go. I'm excited. It's always a fun part for me. You never really know what's going to happen. I was going to say if we get Celtic Detectorist again, I would have to say no. But it is TEW. Let's survive. Let us go ahead. Do not worry, folks. We have more opportunities for you to get a review. We are just going to be looking at TEW. Let's survive. So while I am looking at this, I'm going to go ahead and pull this up in the background. If you are enjoying the stream, please consider sharing this out. It always does help the stream. It helps out get more people, and it just lets conversations happen. Another thing I can tell you is if you are watching at home and you are like, oh, I want to get a review, this gives you an opportunity. It's going to be your most recent one, your most recent video. So you have time. Follow along. If you hear me say something and you're like, oh crap, I'm not doing that, this is your opportunity to do it. Now, I know that we are not going to necessarily be looking at this in this way, but I do want to point out that you don't have your channel name, which is TEW Let's Survive. You can say, welcome to TEW Let's Survive. I dive deep. And the reason I say that is because when people search your name, you want it to show in your about here. This is where YouTube is looking for matches in your title, your channel keywords, and your about for your channel. Luckily, it shows up first here, but we want to do as much as we can to just make sure that is, keeping on top. So let's go to TEW Let's Survive. Now, the most recent video I am seeing is from, 11 days ago, but let's go ahead and take a look at this. Now, we are going to be looking at this from an SEO standpoint. We're going to be looking at how YouTube does. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and start our 5-minute timer. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Going to drop a like to help you out. Another thing is you always get a like. It's like you get a vote in a race or a presidential stuff. You get a vote with your own like. Go ahead and like your video. No shame in it. Helps its engagement. Go ahead and do it. Now, a couple of things here. I am noticing Forever Skies. What is boosters and how immunity levels affect them? I will say, as someone who, isn't familiar with this, maybe it's what are boosters instead of what is. Maybe it could be as simple, it's what are boosters and how immunity levels affect them. Maybe you could change this a little bit. You're clearly playing a game from 2023. It's a newer game, at least according to YouTube here. That could be wrong. I'm not as familiar with this game, but just something to keep in mind. So when I look here, you're saying this is, I see how to step-by-step tutorials. I'm seeing a lot of like non-descriptive tags. If you're unaware, some people are unsure of the importance of tags. Tags are really meant to reinforce what you title and describe the video as. A lot of people will look at the title as one way, the description as another, and the tags as a complete different thing. They need to feed into one another, because that's how YouTube is looking at them. They're actually taking it a step further. They're not only looking at your title, description, and tags. This usually, a lot of people don't know this, but if you click on these three dots, there's a transcript of everything you say in the video that is available. And YouTube actually, if you don't have chapters, you might have chapters. You don't. No, you do. I'll give you that. You have YouTube chapters. So YouTube's also looking into what you have to describe these different things, right? And it's looking for matches, right? Like oxygen booster. Like it's going to look, okay, you titled it that. There's oxygen booster, oxygen booster. It's looking at these things, right? And so what are boosters? Should you use them? Is maybe, I would say Forever Skies. What are boosters and should you use them? I think that's just kind of giving the idea you want, gives you a little thing. Another thing I'm seeing for SEO purposes, I would put these hashtags, as YouTube recommends, at the absolute bottom of the description. That's because the first 200 characters of a description matter a lot. So this should be right here, and these should be all the way at the bottom. The chapters are really good that you have them. I would keep in mind that YouTube would see this as possible tag stuffing. This kind of, if it's here, does not need to be here. And this could be seen as, from YouTube's point of view, as you trying to game the system. Again, I'm not saying you are. I'm saying you don't want to do anything that, whether you are aware or unaware, could accidentally get you in trouble with community guidelines. Now, this right here, so smart. If people are in the description and people do check it out, you have content that they can check out more from you. And then I see you also have other stuff here in the links. Great. I would maybe put chapters a little bit higher. Maybe put chapters between, your list here. So I'm going to clear this up so you can see. I would probably put chapters right here, and then I would put links under chapters. And that way it's just a little more clear. People like interacting with chapters down here. YouTube will also bring them down here. So just make sure you're doing that. Another thing is, I don't see the title, Forever Sky. Like, I don't see Forever Sky's boosters here, but that's what you're talking about, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if I, Control F, I could see it, but I'm not seeing it here. I see walkthrough, Forever Skies guide, but boosters and Forever Skies, you never put them together, right? And you need to look at it from a viewer's perspective. And what I mean by that is, how are people going to find this Forever Skies video about boosters, right? So I gave the idea of a title of Forever Skies, what are boosters and should you use them? I think it asks a really interesting question, followed by the should you use them? You're going to have an opinion on that. And, you can talk about you can talk about all of that, but it's really about making sure that your title, your tags, your description, even your transcript, all match to what you are doing. So hopefully that makes sense. If it's making sense to you in the chat, please let me know. But I just wanted to flag that because I think it's important. Now, again, you're doing a lot right. I love the different Forever Skies lists. I think that, as you are growing, you can see that these different playlists are showing here. Really smart, really resourceful. You are using the pinned comment very effectively. Love to see it. So all in all, can't really complain here. I am getting alerted that that is your time. But looking here, I feel like you're doing so much right. And similar to Celtic Detectorist, like you guys have both made interesting decisions that are not bad, just different, right? And everyone thinks different. And so I'm looking at this video because if I'm a new user, there's some things you can do just to help. I think this is a solid B to B minus to B. So this is the minus and this is the line that gives us that. I think, again, just small changes that you can do to really help. And that's why the word was changed, right? We were trying to get better. We were trying to do all these different things. So all in all, you know, you got to keep going. You got to keep trying and experimenting. And I think that when it comes to this, you can just have very big changes from small things. So the next thing we are going to do is give more people an opportunity to get picked. And that you can do by typing in share. And if you are enjoying this stream or just joining, I am sharing knowledge with YouTube channel reports. I am going to be taking a look at your most recent YouTube video. Check it for how well it is optimized. How's the title? How's the description? How are the tags? Do you have chapters? The things that matter on YouTube that matter just as much as how you support the video. I've looked at thumbnails in the past. I've looked at channels overall. So you should always be coming back because channel reports are always changing, always evolving. Sharing is caring, says Ike. Absolutely. Absolutely. 5 entries. Looking really good here. And if you are enjoying this, consider sharing it out. And this is a question while we're letting more people join in. How often do you share your YouTube videos? Where do you share your YouTube videos? For me, I tend to share them on social media. I try to find relevant forums/discords that make sense that I'm a member of that community of. And I also just do my best to make blog posts, other stuff that can help support the video I make. So where do you share your content? I'm always curious. And, you know, with YouTube giving us more things like linking shorts and things like that, it's easier than ever to share your content. But as people are typing, we can learn. I don't share as often as I do. And, you know, not every video needs to be shared. It's one of those good things. I love this from Genealogy with Amy Johnson Crow. I share on social media and to my email list. Very smart. That's rare I share my videos. I feel like I'm spamming people if I share them. I think there is a fine line between the two of them. I do think that there's a way to do it respectfully. And that's something I try to practice is, you know, there's a thin line between spam and value. So it's always important. Oh, and I forget to share my community tabs. Hey, you know, community tabs is one of those things that if you use it right can add a lot of value. I used to write blog for my Yuri videos, but I stopped after a while. That's fair. All right. This is your last call, last chance. Get your share in there. All right. I'm no Sunny, but let's get this started with share. We're going to see who gets an opportunity. Dimmy Hard, good to see. Long time supporter of the channel. Makes great content. Really excited. Dimmy, I know you've been around for a while, though, so it might be a little tougher. Just going to say, it might be a little tougher. So, with that, I'm saying this because you know better, I think. But let's go ahead, pull this up, take a look. I'm really excited for all we get to do. And even if you've gotten a review, keep watching because some of the stuff, like, it was so different between Celtic Detectorist and TEW Let's Survive. So you really don't know what's going to happen between these two. Now, I will say that I'm not on my main channel because I don't want my subscription bias to go ahead and, you know, rub off. But looking here, one thing I will say is that because your channel name is Dimmy Hard, and I do know you have your full name, you know, is an acclaimed filmmaker, maybe just consider, maybe you can say Dimmy Hardoff, aka Dimmy Hard, is, you know, again, just for that SEO, but I think it's fine. You're obviously showing up #1. So we're going to go from that. Another thing that's obviously important to note, I'm looking at standard YouTube videos, not so much shorts. If someone who is only shorts comes up, it might be a little difficult, but we can figure this out too. So we're going to go ahead and click on Dimmy's channel. And then we are going to look at the most recent video. The most recent video I am seeing is how to dominate YouTube. Stay committed for the long run. I'm going to go ahead and drop a like. Really enjoying that. So how to dominate YouTube. Stay committed for the long run. Already really solid title to start. gotta go ahead and give props to not only having a pinned comment, but it leads to another YouTube video. Easy thing to do. I would maybe say the description could maybe match what you're talking about in the title just a little bit more, because YouTube's going to be looking for that. As I'm looking here, how to get more subscribers on YouTube, how to get more subs, how to get more subscribers, how to grow. You now talk about Instagram. Maybe that's relevant in the video, but as you know, I'm YouTube. Is this about how to grow on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or is it on YouTube? Maybe you're talking about how to grow on YouTube and dominate that stuff on those platforms. You got to remember, how would YouTube take a look at this? Always important to think. Another thing I'm seeing here is that it says, there's no chapters, no comment hearted, but I get that if you don't have any comments to heart. But you know what? I'll make sure to watch this after and you'll have one. And hey, if you're enjoying this, Demi, hopefully this is helpful for you as well. I see, by the way, any tips for a good blog platform? Back in the day, I used WordPress a lot, but it took some time to set up, maintain. Is Squarespace an option? I like Squarespace, although I've had, very limited uses of it. I use Medium personally. I really enjoy that. So that is another thing you can do. I see this from TW Let's Survive. I share everywhere I could. Facebook, Discord, TikTok. Makes sense. And so, going back, I would say looking here for you, Demi, when you are, looking for blogs, I think really if you want to include a blog link to your video, Medium is what I like. It's been really helpful. I will also say, I see that you have subscribed for more videos. That's good. Never miss a video about filmmaking and how to be a better filmmaker. I would say maybe never miss a video about filmmaking and how to be a better filmmaking. Subscribe. I don't know if the subscribe for more videos is as effective as this part personally. That is something to consider. I'd also have a video section to put more, really never miss a video on filmmaking, how to be a better filmmaker, subscribe, and then bam, I have videos on that right away for that person who's interested in the content. So just a thing there. I'd also include hashtags, which I'm not seeing. I'm also not seeing a disclosure of affiliate links, which obviously TubeBuddies is. This one definitely is. So just remember to disclose. We want to be as open and transparent with our audience as possible. I do think that, if I'm YouTube, how to live off YouTube, I think that maybe could be something you talk about in your description. Because what you're telling YouTube is how to dominate and stay committed. How to dominate on YouTube and stay committed for the long run, I think this is a decent title. I'd click. I think that some of the ideas is how to dominate YouTube to live off your YouTube channel, right? Like, just to keep that in mind. Some of these are relevant in ways that even if you just put them here. Another cool thing we can do is check, this is one of those newer things. A lot of people don't know this. I'm going to look at your transcript here. You can search transcripts. This is English auto generators. So, I'm going to look. Do you talk about how to get more subscribers on YouTube? Expert coaches to help them grow. So I think this is 5 years ago. I'm not seeing, at least right here. I see long run a little bit. I'm seeing million subscribers. It takes a long time. I'm seeing some of it, but keep in mind, this is how YouTube's looking at it now. And because transcripts are available, we can look deeper. So, yeah. I feel like video subjects like this need to have a history to back it up. I would agree. I think that I feel like you can, how to dominate YouTube, just recommending consistency is one of those things. I think that a great example is that my personal YouTube channel does not represent all the work I've done. I've helped channels gain million subscribers, but it hasn't necessarily been on my own. This channel has been very successful for the time I've had it, and I've really focused all in on it. But I do think that's a good point that 30-day reviews brings up. All in all, I think that you're doing a lot right here, Demi. I would say that, I think you are right on the right track with the more specific tags to the video. But I would say what I'm seeing is like your title's really decent to me. Your tags are on the right pulse, but the description can just use a little TLC, and just that little bit more that can help it is really this description, because again, they all feed into each other. Think about a YouTube video. Here, this is it. When you're optimizing a YouTube video, think about that individual video like a house. The foundation is the video itself. We build the walls with the title, the thumbnail. We build the roof with how we describe the video. What we say in the video is the windows and the tags, the stuff that not everyone sees, but is just as important are the walls in the back, in the front. The walls are important. Sometimes people can see them if they know where to look, but most of the times they get overlooked. So there's a lot you can do. I would say you're doing so much right. I think this is a very strong candidate, Demi, for a very, very good, that is the timer. I think this is a very solid just B. I think that, I'll actually go B+. I think you have a really good grasp of the things individually. It's just tying them all together. I can have flour, I can have water, and I can have a bowl. But if I don't know what else to add to it or what else to change, I just have ingredients in a bowl. So just something to think about. Really good job here. Thank you, of course. And this goes to everyone, whether you are just joining or you've been watching. Thank you so much. Just to trust me to take a look at your channel. I understand that it can be intimidating. I'm just really appreciative that you give me the time, and I hope that I can provide value to you. That's really what this is all about, and thank you, genuinely. And to give thanks, I'm going to go ahead and pull another person. In order to get a channel review, you just have to type the word that is going to be on screen, and the word that everybody has heard about is the bird, because the bird is the word. If you understand, you understand. Sick Shop, I am aware of this. This is something I've been working on. They have been removed from the Discord, although if you have more, please send them my way. So, I see some people talking about the bird in the chat. I also see, is channel guidelines going to be in October 7th? I don't know that specifically. Channel guidelines are a feature on YouTube that have been in beta for a long time. I think they're a really nice feature. I do not know if they are going to come out of beta transparently. I've asked. They said that they've rolled it out to more people since that video went live. Really hard to consider. So I hope they let it go to more people, but I see the same thing from Ike. Channel guidelines is slowly coming out. It's finally on my channel. I agree. I hope it will be on all channels. Surfing Bird. Some people understand the joke. Some people don't, but it's all fine. We're having a good time. We have 6 people. I do love, Amy Johnson Crow's comment. But hey, everybody's heard about that bird. But even if you think about bird, there's so much you can, and this is what I love about YouTube, is like, I said bird here, but like there's someone out there who's really passionate about birds. There's probably a bird watching channel with millions of viewers and subscribers, and I love that. This platform is not oversaturated. A lot of people think it is. If the world's not oversaturated, neither is this platform. There is someone who needs to hear your unique tone, who needs to hear your unique voice on whatever you're passionate about. For me, it is making YouTube affordable and accessible because I love filmmaking, and I love storytelling, and I think that YouTube lets you do both in a high level. And I think you learn, you grow, and you get better one video at a time. With that, I think we have, stuff. We can go ahead. I'm going to give a little more time for entries. So I see more people are typing in bird. With that, aquarium live stream for you. Appreciate you teaching us important info and doing this live. Thank you. Well, 1, thank you so much for the kind words. 2, love the betta fish, or beta, depending how you say it, in your profile picture. I have one over there in my office. I have a fluval speck 9-gallon. Really love betta fish and fish keeping. Really great hobby. So hopefully, we have a lot of great channels here. Maybe we get the opportunity to talk about that. So with that, let's go ahead and draw. Never know who you're going to get. It's always the fun part. Like, I have no idea what's going to happen. Alrighty. All right, Victor Game Dev. Let us go, Victor Game Dev. Let's go ahead and take a look. If you were not chosen, do not fret. We still have more time here today. We are nowhere near done. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to pull up this YouTube channel. And don't worry, if you haven't been chosen, you still have opportunities, folks. We have a whole another hour and 21 minutes of this minimum, and we got time. We're going 5 minutes at a time. That gives 12 opportunities in the live. You know, it's really fun, really sustainable, really gives me an opportunity. I do see that you were very close, you know, genealogy. I'm so sorry, but you never know. There's always next time. And hey, even if you can't watch live, there is the replay. All right, so going ahead and typing in Victor Game Dev, first thing I see. And this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier, actually, is, you know, the importance of having whatever your YouTube channel name is in the description. Because YouTube's been able to identify games from Victor Game Dev here. My computer's lagging a little bit, or maybe it's just the draw tool. I also might want to change the color to a little bit more noticeable. If we were on this yellow for a while, let's go to red. So haven't put up the channel yet, just something I wanted to flag for basically anyone who doesn't have it. We had it with the Celtic Detectorist, but you know, they learned from the last one. More reasons to come back. Now, I did mention that if they're shorts only, it's going to be a little bit different. But you know, what we can talk about in a YouTube short and just how you should think about it is, I'm going to go ahead and start the timer. And one thing I will say is we can look at the title, because it's different than how you would title a standard YouTube video. And I'm glad actually that I get a chance to look at your this channel, Victor Game Dev. And so what I'm thinking here, and I'm thinking out loud, right, is that whenever it comes to someone who's new, someone who may not know what you do, it's always important, even if you don't have, you know, long form videos, which is fine, you can still make playlists. I would recommend, if there are parts like I am seeing here, because, you know, shorts are a little different, they have their own shelf, they're not so standard, there's other ways we can optimize this content. So one thing I'm noticing on the shorts is that it's limiting how many I can see it. I'm seeing like part 36, I'm seeing part 35, I'm seeing the views are all over the place. So you have to remember when you're making this, how would people who don't know your channel or just seeing this in the shorts feed, you know, going to understand what's happening? So that's kind of one of those things. I do think you should have a channel trailer if people do make it to your page. It can happen. And, you know, you have 18 subscribers. If I go to your about, you know, hello, this channel is about making games and other stuff around game development. I think this is really a solid banner. But looking at the shorts, I would just give them opportunities on the homepage if they want to watch in order, because I'm seeing part 34, part 33. But notice how limited amount of videos I can watch if I want to watch all of them. And there are people, I've seen it on TikTok, I have seen it, you know, in different formats watching that way. So have it built out. Yes, you have the shorts default one, but maybe make a playlist. And then, you know, you can ask questions. If there's different parts, if you want people to watch, make it easy. On TikTok, they call that a collection. On YouTube, we would call this a playlist. I do like that you have your Discord linked. I see you have a, you know, give it a try, join my Discord. Maybe that's your channel trailer if that's really where you're trying to push people to. I think that's a smart thing. I do like what I am seeing, and this kind of game, at least based on what I'm seeing here, is something I'm interested in. Another thing I would tell you is when you are making these kind of videos, since you're only shorts right now, maybe you want to make other longer forms later, just think of ways that you can get people to want to keep watching these shorts. What are ways that, since the YouTube Shorts algorithm is so broad, how can I hashtag these, right? So we can go into this one and take a look at some of the other stuff. Now, most people, they're not going to be looking here, but one thing you say is link in bio. I'm assuming this is your channel bio, but when I go to your channel bio, there's no link here. Is it your YouTube channel bio? Because that's your Discord, because you say play in browser or download now, link in bio. So it's a little confusing. I'd also have hashtags here. Maybe it is indie dev or game dev, and just ways if people are searching on YouTube for these things, your video has an opportunity to show up. Even shorts show up now in searchable things, and people do search by hashtags. So just have those things prepared. You know, you have 95 views, you know, on this one, just those little things that really matter. And obviously you can't really link because you don't have a long form video, but maybe consider linking to a long form video, how to play my game. Make it, you can make it short like this, but just 16:9 just gives more people an opportunity to play your game, more people the opportunity to really become a part of it. So with all that said, if I were to take a look at, you know, just your most recent short, which is this one, I didn't see the link as promised. There was a missing of hashtags, and I didn't notice a pinned comment, which are all things you can do. You do say link in bio, so let me check. Right now, the only link I do see is your Discord, so I would put your game link here since you are pointing people there. But overall, if I were to give you a grade here, you know, I think you have some, obviously you've had some success in the short shelf, looking good there. I would say this is a solid, you know, I'd give it a solid C++. Development humor, but maybe it doesn't make sense in game dev. I don't actually know too much there, but it does for other developers, so we'll take that. But, you know, I think that it gives us things to improve on. I see from 30-day reviews gives it a D-. Of course, if you want to give a grade, feel free to do so in the chat. But I will say this, and we just hit your time, Victor Game Dev. I think that I love everything built around it. And that's interesting. I want people to join my Discord firstly to access the game. I often say this about YouTube content. It's something I've been workshopping. And in comedy, if you have to explain a joke, it's not funny or it's not working the way you want it to. If I can't tell clearly from the video, because again, you got to remember, you say link in bio and then it's your Discord. It may not be exactly the most clear. And just comes from genuinely as someone who loves gaming, who doesn't know. It's just something to keep in mind. You can keep it as you are. It's just, again, outside viewer, I didn't know, and it had to be explained to me. I do see everything noted. Thank you. No, genuinely thank you. You only have up, and the best thing about channel reports is you can implement everything, you know, here. So I would say overall, just easy things to do, and it just makes your channel more cohesive, makes it easier for you to watch more content. And so with that, thank you for the opportunity to take a look. If you're just joining, because I see our viewership is spiked up to 15, we are doing YouTube channel reports, and we are going to be pulling from the chat. I'm going to give you a new word to type in the chat. The new word will be what you have to enter to get a chance to get a free YouTube channel report. I always take priority to super chats, so if you leave one, they will take priority over the free one, but we're going to be doing this for quite a bit. So the next word we have is, what's a word that I think is important? We are going to do the word playlist. So go ahead, start collecting. It's going to be on screen. Playlist. We are going to be focusing on them playlists, folks. They are just as important as other things. So yeah. And I see from 30-day reviews a little bit of clarification. My grade was due to confusion on the linking and such. And I think that's fair. If I'm a new viewer, that can be a little confusing. So that is something to note. And I do appreciate. And that is something, if you want to do, you are more than welcome. If you want to leave a grade for someone, please feel free to speak your opinion. It's a place where if you can back it up or let us know, it gives us all an opportunity to improve. And you got to understand, a lot of times people will ask me, well, how do you know all this? And why did it? I was bad at this, folks. Like when I first started YouTube all the way back in 2006, I knew none of this. But the best part of learning is being able to share it with you. And that's really what I enjoy doing. And I see more people, I'm seeing, you know, more opportunities. So playlist is the word, 7 entries. Gonna go ahead and give people just a little bit more. But while we are waiting, what has been your biggest takeaways so far in the stream? What is something you may not have thought about, but now that you've seen other people, you know, this gives you an opportunity to just think out loud and maybe make changes moving forward. So with that, I think I've given people enough time. Let us draw. Let's have some fun. Who will it be? Oh my gosh, every time it gets so close to genealogy with Amy Johnson Crow. Congratulations, the MMA A-holes. It's just I've noticed that pattern. You were so close, but something just to think about. All right, as I am pulling that up, I do see we have a comment from Celtic Detectorist. I didn't think about adding a disclaimer for affiliate links. In the US, it is the law. I'm not sure in other regions, but I tend to know if it's a law one place, just don't take any risks. It's never worth it. So I do see this is rigged against Amy Johnson Crow. Yeah, I've noticed. I'm so sorry. But, there's more opportunity, there's more chance. Can you tell I feel bad, but we have the opportunity to do this. I am noticing a little bit of a lag on the stream, not sure why. But it says my stream is healthy, like my internet's been good. So, there have been some weird YouTube issues here today. So, we are going to go ahead and pull. So, we have the MMA Holes, which I still, to this day, love this channel name. What a good channel name. All right, MMA has never been covered in a fashion like this. The most unique, ridiculous live experience you've ever set your eyeballs on. I think this is great. I would just say, maybe it's as simple as saying, welcome to MMA Holes. MMA has never been covered like this. This is a nitpick, if anything, but we've been going over it for multiple people. I think the MMA Holes can take it. So I will say that. So as I look here, we're going to take a look at your, well, I guess most recent video, but if there's streams, that works too, because streams can be optimized similarly. We have one, which is the Sean O'Malley song. So must listen UFC walkout song. I'm going to avoid this due to copyright. But this one, I would say maybe makes a little more sense. It seems to be a live stream replay. But one thing I will say is as we are looking here, is what we can look at for anyone, right? Whether you're optimizing a live stream, whether you're doing a traditional video, it is important to make sure that you are looking at other content and looking at all the ways that these can play. So shorts are different, but live streams and normal videos have a lot more in common than people think. So right here, as I look, join us for an interview with Alex from Law of the Goat and the MMA Holes as they discuss challenges they face in the aftermath of a strike that has prevented MMA Holes from live streaming and the challenge of putting together and selling a documentary series. I think this is a great description. You talk about the documentary, you have your guest's name here, what happened to the MMA Holes. Really does a good job in the description, really matching what you've promised in the title. The next thing I will point out is really good placement of these here. I will say that keep in mind, if you have affiliate links of any kind, you must disclose. Just always be as open as possible. Support us here. Love that you have easy ways. Another thing I would consider is just listing and linking to other content that might be updated, especially if the videos are, getting more traction later on. You want to make sure that any video you have can lead to another video. So just something to think about as we go ahead through this. Now, I'm going to go ahead, and I think I've been leaving a like everywhere. Go ahead and leave a like there. So, Law of the Goat, the MMA Holes strike, YouTube strike. I would say maybe just like you have UFC documentary. An easy one is to include this, like what happened to the MMA Holes, must watch MMA Holes documentary. Maybe you really focus on that and the discussion around it. I think that's one of those easy things that you can do that really help there. I'm also noticing not a lot of sharing, at least from the social sentiment side here. So maybe if you are in some Facebook groups or you have a Facebook page, consider that. I don't always do this, but it's, again, trying to think of ways that we can help. Search on Twitter. I mean, I can do that right now, or I guess I should say X. And as we do that, no results. Maybe you have shared it. I know that Twitter, aka X, has been in a garbage fire. So just other things to think about. I do like that you pin your chapters. I would recommend, though, that you also include the chapters. You can thank the person, but you can include them and say thanks, in this case, Little Seal, for always doing it. I do see you have your membership, and I noticed the icon. That looks good. So I would say you have a really solid title, really solid description. Your tags are a lot better than some we have seen, but I would just say, maybe include some of the stuff that you mentioned in your tags in the description to help those two things out. But overall, it's really solid there. I'm getting nitpicky, but affiliate disclosure, always if you can disclose, and then just linking to more content. Overall, I mean, I've checked your channel before, solid. I mean, you don't even need to tell you that. But what I can say is those little details. Just like when you are training, it's the small things, the form. It really matters. So I would say that this is a solid B plus to A minus from what I see. There's just like little nitpick stuff we can say. You know, you really understand who your target audience is. Just some of those changes you can make. So even if you don't live stream much, every time you have a replay live, YouTube considers that like a standard upload, and these little tweaks can really make all the difference. So even though you don't have a lot of standard YouTube videos in the traditional sense, you have these live stream replays that act as your videos. And because they act as videos, you should treat them as such. Hopefully that made sense from 30 days. I've been finding that my videos with tags or no additional ones do better most of the time. And it could go both ways, right? So tags are not as important as they used to be, but one of the issues is that when you give conflicting tags and or you're spending too much time on them, tags were more important back in the day just to help YouTube before we had transcript, before we had all of these things, to really help YouTube understand what the video is about. Even this long live stream has a transcript, right? So like understanding why tags have been less and less important is one of those things that makes sense as you think about the platform holistically. So I understand that thought when you mentioned that 30-day reviews. I would just say till YouTube removes it, don't consider or count it out. And that's what a lot of people, including some of my contemporaries, say, what I believe. I mean, don't waste all day on them. I mean, I've seen people not publish videos because they wanted their tags just right. Don't do that, please. The worst thing you can do is not post that video. But because we like to have a little bit of fun here, tags matter right now, folks. You better be typing in tags in that chat. And by the way, it's back in the day, it was 2 years ago. You know, it arguably some people, I mean, I had to fight that battle a long time. You could say, I mean, back in the day was 2 years ago, but it was also, they were really popular in 2016. That was kind of the height of it, I would argue. So, I mean, there's a long history on this platform, folks. So it really can go. This is Rabe, who is a previous top contributor to the Discord. Great to see you here. I know you were here a little bit earlier, but just wanted to acknowledge that. Sorry if I didn't have. I also noticed, and also having part of my title in the description could be seen as spamming. That it can, but if you have your title organically, what they mean is like in a sentence. So you're like, in this video, I'm treasure hunting in the UK. That repeats your title organically, but it's not just randomly there. I also wanted to take a look back at some of the things people have learned, which is, you know, if I'm looking here, someone asked, how do I have the verification bag without 100K subscribers? I have a video about that all on the channel. Thank you so much. This is Robe for, you know, Robe. We're figuring it out. Thank you so much for supporting. So, what did you use to select a winner? I'm assuming this is Streamyard's very own giveaway tool. So you just go to streamyard.com/giveaway and you can try it. You just have to have a live stream set up through Streamyard. Love using it. It is a free tool. A lot of people don't know about it. I love using it. Just gives me an opportunity to enter in, and you know, we have this here and you just got to type in tags. I'm going to give people a last little bit here. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and talk about the second part of the stream and how we're going to be doing it. Because if you're watching, you can still join the call-in part on Discord. Don't have a Discord? Don't worry. There's a link to our Discord server in the description. Let's go ahead and show how we do it while we're letting people type in tags as our word. So tags is still the word. Everybody's heard about that word. So here we are here on the Discord. So I'm going to be pulling specifically. So if you are just joining us, in order to get a channel review, in order to get a channel report on the Discord, all you have to do is leave feedback to someone else and then request feedback. The more specific about your YouTube channel, the better. If your question is, does this look good? It's not really much for me to sink my teeth into. And I want to be very cautious of other people's time. So we're going to go here. You go into content feedback. You just have to leave. There is a read this first before you post. Really helpful for if you need to know what to do. We have examples of great reviews and bad examples of insufficient reviews. We have people who are looking for different ways. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. We have people who are looking for channel feedback, video feedback, I'm going to be looking with the channel feedback tag. So for example, we have this YouTube channel that I could take a look at and really give some feedback on. They have a self-review. They really talk about what they're looking for. So they can call in, I can answer, and Ike has the link, kdcc.social. But yeah, this is how I'm going to do it. I would read this, going to give feedback. There's other people who have given feedback. In order to be able to give feedback, you must, and get feedback, you must give feedback. So can you tell I wanted to give as much time as possible for people to enter? So if you are just joining us and you would like a chance for a free YouTube channel review, you can either leave a super chat or you can type in tags. We have gained more people since then. I use OBS. Any alternative? Streamyard. I love Streamyard. They have a free trial, 14 days in the description, MMA Holes. You can use this with it. They do so much. And I really think for interviews, you can have separate guest recordings. So if you want to edit the video afterwards, just really do a lot. So it's what I love using. Use what works for you. OBS is great. It's free. So Streamyard is a forever free version. If you're enjoying OBS and it's working for you, use what works for you. That's what I always tell people. But it's an affiliate link, disclosure, and StreamYard has sponsored videos in the past and streams, and they have been a huge part for us in the KDCC, the can-do creator community. With that said, I think we have everyone who's typed in tags. I think it's time to draw. This is Robbie. And again, Amy Johnson Crow, please, I'm so sorry. If you join the Discord, I will pull, if you have left a review in the Discord, if you have that, I will pull you up first. I feel so bad. I keep noticing you are just, it has been like the last few times where you're just right there. So man, I gotta say congratulations, Robbie. I'm still, me and Ike have had this discussion. We're, names are not my strong suit, but, having fun here all the same. So I'm going to go ahead and search this is Robbie. So 30-day reviews. I don't understand how to get the reviewed thingy needed to comment. So you just basically read the how to get this role. It spells it out for you. 30-day reviews. Missed the first hour, but there is the second hour in the call-in. I'll have to leave some feedback in the Discord. I'm so behind in there. No worries. There's always time to catch up. You could be doing that while I'm reviewing, and you can think of what I'm saying and looking at when looking at their channel. Totally get why people use StreamYard. It definitely makes things easier. I'm a big fan of OBS because of the unlimited options, but like you said, whatever works for you. Absolutely. And hey, free trials let you try new things and see how it goes. So this is Rob A, has it right there, what we want to see. Immediately when I search their name, this is why I've been bringing it up. Whatever they search, ideally it shows here in bold. YouTube did not do that by mistake. They did that on purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and click on This is Robbie. We're going to take a look at 1 month ago. So Remastering Evolution, Cassette Beasts, Episode 3, PC Gameplay. So as I'm looking here, if this is a Let's Play, I would put that, because Let's Play is still heavily searched. I think the idea is this is, Let's Play Cassette Beasts, Episode 3. Maybe then it should be Remastering Evolution, because Let's Play blank game, highly searched, always. And if you have a compelling thumbnail with other people making it, it gives you a chance, and your video a chance to be recommended. So with that, that's an easy way to do it. I would definitely say that, remember, the most important thing in your title should be first. So if you are playing this game, Remastering Evolution, you got to remember, the YouTube could see this as, oh, he's talking about evolution, and evolution can go multiple ways. It's evolution, the science, evolution Pokemon, evolution as frickin' anything. So the more specific you can be, Let's Play Cassette Beast, Episode 3. Right there, super clear. YouTube knows what to do with it, and it matches it. PC gameplay is good for those who want to see it, and then Remastering Evolution might make sense within context of the game, but can be a little confusing for YouTube. because YouTube goes on what you tell it. Check out the game. I think it's really good that you have the game linked, but I would love to see some links for your own self. I think it's super important. Also, say check out the part 2 or the next part because you want to link to other pieces of content. Get every opportunity. I'm also noticing you can leave a pinned comment. You can say, check out the next part here or check out the previous part here. Be the first person to comment because no one wants to be at the start of the party. This is Robbie says it's taking notes. I'm going to try to, I can get excited. I'm going to try to slow it down. Next thing I'm also seeing is, you have, these tags are so good, but they're not in the description. And it should be Let's Play Cassette Beast. And like you have Cassette Beast Let's Play, like these tags are so good, put them in. So you're showing me you know what to do. But this is what I was talking about, where they're not all feeding into one another. And I think that's super apparent here. So the next thing I would say, feed some of these tags, include them organically or naturally wording them into your description. One way you could do it and even link to other ones is watch more of my Cassette Beast playthrough here, and you link to the videos, and that includes that organically in the description. Another thing you can do is hashtags at the end of those descriptions. Cassette Beast, Let's Play, and your YouTube channel name gives you a little more authority on that one. Gonna go ahead and drop a like. Just something there. Good that you had this here. Not sure if YouTube does this automatically fully or you still have to enter it in manually. If you didn't enter this in, still good that it's there. Shows YouTube at least understands more. In your transcript, one thing I will say is, welcome back to Cassette Beast. I'm currently going to the outpost. If I recall, the outpost, these are all auto. Hail, maybe it's lovers or lovelies. Welcome back to my playthrough, my Let's Play of Cassette Beast. Again, YouTube is looking at what you say to match what is in the title, the description, and the tags. I love the transcript feature because it lets me... I've been beating this drum for years that YouTube is looking at what we say in videos, and people are like, oh, come on, how? The AI captions for years that have been on YouTube are not random. It's used as metadata, so listen to it, use it. Think about how YouTube can use what you say in video to help recommend a video. Make it so simple. All right, so this is Robbie said he's doing it manually. That's really good. I mean, if I gotta tell you, it's so good to see this, that you clearly understand this. I do know that you don't have chapters for Let's Plays. I get it. I would say a pinned comment you could do. End screen's not added. You definitely, if you can, should link to the previous parts. If you don't have an end screen, there's so many free end screen templates out there. So definitely recommend start incorporating an end screen. All in all, I'm seeing a lot here that you're doing well. I think a solid C to C plus would be just on, if you didn't have all these things, I would say just on the description, you're probably C to C plus. Your tags for me put you more to B minus category, but there are a lot of little things, best practices that, again, these fundamentals need to be hit in order for us to effectively do that. So all I can say is that you're at a B minus in my book. I would be curious to what other people think. You're doing a lot right, but these little things add up and they're so easy to fix. And I really hope you go in and fix them and think about them for your next video. And actually what I can do is help people out, and how some people are like, how do you remember to do this for every video? It can get exhausting. And you're right, it can, but don't worry. Here's how I did it. And even this is on my old gaming channel, so it's a little out of date, but the idea is solid. So here we are. If I zoom in here to the back end, you have upload defaults. So TubeBuddy lets you have multiple. I had them per game, as you can see. You can see I had where they can get the game. But one thing I could improve on this is I could have linked the playlist in this description, which I'm failing to do. I could link the next episode from the previous, and it's little things that where I lead myself blocks to do it, but I wasn't doing it, right? And those are things that I talked about. I'm not perfect. I'm always learning, always changing too. But in your settings on the back end, you just click the settings cogwheel here. Settings, upload default. You get one standard from YouTube. This lets you keep your different settings set, including, the monetization, which I know they're changing, but for now, it gives you an opportunity to see. And it just gives you the chance to be consistent and have all of these things set up for your next upload. I see from perfect. I will make sure to do these little things now that I am settled in. Please, and please keep posting. Love seeing you in the Discord. Great to see you here on the channel reviews and channel report side. And with that, we are going to talk about once again, if you want to get to the second part of this, if you want to go ahead, if you're interested in getting a channel report on our Discord, all you have to do, join our Discord. Make your way to under question and feedback to content feedback. If you don't know what to post here, read this first. It talks about how to leave feedback, how to have a self-review. It answers some of the most commonly asked questions. All you have to do is leave good feedback. We link to examples that you can see, and it's really a great opportunity. There will be this channel reports channel that you join in for the second part. So that is one of those great things that you can do now. And I see this from Six Shop. Where is the default? I never knew about that. Wow. I know that you are active, so I'll show this one more time. So on your channel page, so this is your channel dashboard, click on settings here. Settings right down here. Under settings, go to upload defaults. And that is how you save your upload default to include all the stuff we talked about today. I also see from Ike, I gave you that role so you can create a post. Perfect. This is your opportunity to go ahead in the Discord and do all of that now. Gives everyone a chance. But from me and Ike and everyone at the KDCC, thank you so much for joining us here for YouTube channel reports. This has been a lot of fun. The report type changes frequently. So even if you've gotten a report before, there's always a chance to get a new grade, get a new different approach, different view of what we're looking at. I've been Andrew Can. If I can do these things to improve my YouTube channel, then you can too. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.